What's up? Well, go on, you guys. So before I went on with my day today, even though I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, I'll be honest, ever since I got back to Bangkok, this air quality sometimes, OMG. But I had to just share my experience with visiting Vietnam, Da Nang, Vietnam. We also traveled a little bit south of Da Nang, Hoi An. Sounds like Hua Hin, Thailand, but Hoi An, okay, in Vietnam. I had to share my experience because so many expectations that I had, let me say it this way, because I was wrong about a lot of the expectations that I had. And in a good way, I'm happy because I was pleasantly surprised. I rather have lower expectations and then be pleasantly surprised than have high expectations about a place and then be very disappointed. And so that's what happened on this trip, basically. So I'm going to share some of the things that I was expecting, I was anticipating, and my expectations versus the reality of Vietnam. So, quick backstory, this was my first time visiting Vietnam. Even though I've been traveling to Southeast Asia for the past 4 years, and we've been living in Thailand for a year and a half now, it just wasn't a place that was like on the top of my list, right? I always find myself going back to Bali, Indonesia, because I just love Bali, Indonesia so much. If you know me, if you've been following me, you know how much I love just the culture, the people, the ambiance. I call it Mama Bali because it has such a healing nature to the land and such a softness to it. Like my femininity really thrives there. If I can say that, right? I feel my I don't know if I want to say my most feminine self, but I really do feel very feminine in Bali, Indonesia. And so anyway, we've visited other countries throughout Southeast Asia, but just haven't been to Vietnam. So this time around we decided, hey, it's our 6 month mark because we do have a long-term visa here in Thailand, but unfortunately it's pretty much a glorified tourist visa, okay? We don't have to do the 90-day runs because that's very risky. You never know what you're going to get. We do have a 5-year visa here, but it still does require to leave the country at least once or twice per year, something like that. And we did not mind. Before we came to Thailand, we got this visa, by the way, a year and a half ago. So 2024, when the visa just came out, as soon as it launched, because we were like, we're ready to go, we applied for it and we got it. And one of the reasons why we were okay with that was because we wanted to slow travel throughout Southeast Asia, which we have been doing just that. But eventually, I'll share a little bit why I am looking forward to something even more stable than that, like permanent residency or something that allows us to stay even longer, like at least a year at a time, especially with expanding our family, yada yada, all of those things. So if you guys know, I'm currently expecting, which is fine. Just got back from Vietnam. We don't have to leave until months after our new baby is here. So it works out perfectly. We still try to have common sense and plan things, okay, around certain things. So anyway, back to Vietnam. So we're like, okay, we visited all these countries. Now is our 6 month mark. Let's go somewhere else. And so we decided to see what everybody's talking about. Because, there's this saying that says it's better to visit a place at least once than to hear about it 1,000 times. So I decided to go, but these were my expectations. Number one, my first expectation was that the people were going to be very, as a matter of fact, blunt, kind of mean, like New Yorkers. No offense to New Yorkers. But they weren't going to be as nice as like the Balinese people or people in Thailand, at least, My second expectation was that most people weren't going to speak English, right? And that's fine for me. I'm an avid traveler and I adapt well to wherever I go. English is not the main language in Vietnam, so I don't have an expectation that they should have to speak to me in English. I need to try to communicate to them, if anything, at least the bare minimum in their language or simply use Google Translate, right? I was already um, planning on how I would navigate communicating with the locals who don't speak English. But that was my expectation, regardless, that most people wouldn't speak English. The third expectation was that Vietnam was not going to be as family friendly as maybe like Thailand. And you guys, I was very wrong about, oh, another expectation that I had was that the food was going to be very blah. And I think this stemmed from me having Vietnamese food or trying Vietnamese food in the US before, like Dallas, Texas. I've had Vietnamese food and it was not the best. I've also had Vietnamese food here in Thailand as well. You know, it's closer to Vietnam, so I'm expecting that, okay, this is going to be close to what it's really like in Vietnam. I don't know. It was not really good. And I'm just like, oh, the Vietnamese food is not really all that, honestly. So that was another expectation that I had, that the food was going to be kind of blah. Y'all, I was completely wrong about all of those things. All of those things. I am still mind blown about my experience in Vietnam. Even my husband loved it. And he's kind of hard to please in a way, especially when it comes to like places and stuff like that. He loved Vietnam. He loved how family friendly it was. He also loved the fact that at one point we stayed by the river, right? And I love this, you guys. Like the river to the beach is like 5 minutes. It's like a 5 minute drive, okay? And at one point we stayed close to the river where at night it lights up the buildings. It's like on one side of the street you get out of your hotel or B&B or wherever you're staying and you feel like you're in a Bali, Indonesia. No kidding. Just how the concretes were, how the floor was, and like just seeing the bikes and the air, it just felt like I was in Bali. No kidding. Then you look across the street and it's giving you a Miami. It's the craziest thing, you guys. And so by the river, they have like these boats that lit up, dinner cruises, lit up boats, light shows, the bridge lights just going crazy. Then they also had these mini bikes that lit up, bikes and go-karts for children at night, you guys. It's like Vietnam comes to life at night and people are out with their families, dads, moms, just couples walking along the river. So the sidewalk is kind of really wide, which is so cool. I love how in Vietnam you can kind of just pull over the sidewalk and your kids can run around and different things like that. The sidewalks are wide. I don't even know if I would call it a sidewalk, but it's more of a boardwalk, okay, or a concrete walk, okay, type of thing. For like 100,000 baht, you can rent the go-kart thingies for an hour, and you would have even adults, like young adults, who want to feel like kids again, I guess, riding these go-karts, and it's at night and it's lit up and it's just so amazing. So I'm gonna put some clips here. And baby boy enjoyed that. Hubby enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. They also have the ones where you can control your little ones. So if you have littles, you can actually control them and drive them while they're in this, go-kart thingy. So cool. And then the beach. The beach was so refreshing, so nice, just the air, just being out of Bangkok, because as much as I love Bangkok, you guys, I love the convenience. I love Bangkok. If you know, you know, the air quality can get really OMG. I took a walk a couple of days ago and now I am like stuffed up. I'm blowing my nose. It's just a hot mess. I think because of the air quality. So during this season, especially January through like April-ish, there's like burning season. It hasn't seemed that bad this year, but OMG, the air quality can be really just messed up. And I always feel it when I get back to Bangkok. This always happens, right? And anyway, the air quality, the freshness, and even though Vietnam was warm, it was hot, it was more bearable than like walking in the heat in Bangkok. Bangkok is just heat and that's it. You're about to pass out, okay? But in Vietnam, especially along the beach, you can smell the salt water. You can smell the ocean. You can feel the breeze from the ocean. It's just a different type of heat. Felt so amazing. Also, we were walking distance to a lot of things. Like in Da Nang, we could walk to a coffee shop here, a little mini mart or a market here where they sell dragon fruits and bananas and watermelons and mangoes and whatever. It was just simply so amazing to be walking distance from the beach, walking distance from restaurants, cafes, different things like that. I did not realize how walkable things were in Da Nang, and we loved it. Loved it so much. The food. Let's talk about the food, okay? One of the things that I was wrong about. The food, you guys, was phenomenal. And I am a very picky eater, okay? When it comes to food, I can be very critical with food. The food in Vietnam, there is something special and unique about how they prepare the food. I'm not even kidding, right? And they say comparison is the thief of joy. It really is, because I couldn't help but to like compare things because I'm living in Thailand now. It's been a year and a half, so I couldn't help but to compare, right, the experience in Thailand versus Vietnam. And though I love a lot of the food in Thailand, I was just thinking, man, Vietnam, a lot of the food reminded me of back home in Jamaica, right, where I was born. For those of you who don't know, I'm Caribbean. I was actually born in Jamaica and moved to the US as a teenager, spent all of my later, you know, teenage adult life and my adult life in the US. And so the food reminded me a lot of the Jamaican food, the Jamaican culture, the Jamaican cuisine, how they prepared it, based on the dishes that we got. Now, for those of you who have probably been to Vietnam before, you're probably thinking, I don't know what you're talking about. If you're eating like the just like the noodles and just like the Vietnamese pancakes, even the Vietnamese pancakes actually reminded me of back home, the flavor, just how they did it. The Vietnamese pancake is more like a fritter. And if you're from the Caribbean, if you're Jamaican, you know what I'm talking about. It's more of a fritter. It's like an open fritter that you stuff and then you close it, kind of like a taco type of thing. But overall, you guys, the food, the spices, how they prepared the meals were just phenomenal. We did not have any issues with any of the foods, like running belly, no type of stomach issues that sometimes, people get when they travel. We had no issues with that. One time we went to this more plant-based restaurant. We just walked, right? Again, it was very walkable. We were walking around the neighborhood, and we stumbled upon this really cute garden, like vegan plant-based restaurant. And we're like, oh, let's eat here. And so we ate there. The food was great, but we did not like one particular soup that we got. So that was the only disappointment that we had. I thought I was going to like the soup. It was a type of sour soup, and the picture just made it look really delicious, but it wasn't really that delicious. It was an acquired taste. Outside of that, everything else that we got, you guys, tasted so amazing. Even the way they do their fried rice is different from how they do their fried rice in Thailand. So good. Anyway, I'll get off of the food. I'll get off the food. I will literally go back to Vietnam just for the food. I can't even believe I'm saying that, you guys, because honestly, I thought the food was gonna be blah, but I was like, I'm gonna go regardless because I want to experience Vietnam for myself. The food, amazing. The prices, OMG. Like, I remember us ordering food for our family of 3, including drinks. I think we probably got 2 drinks. We got a smoothie or something like that and something else, and 3 meals, and it came up to like $5 US dollars. $5 and some cents based on the conversion. No kidding. The prices are phenomenal. And it was at a decent restaurant. The food tasted good. The quality was good. It was fresh. And we also found this really nice, clean restaurant. It was more of a healthy restaurant. I think it was mostly plant-based restaurant. Yes. The food, you guys, amazing. Our baby boy loves the tempeh. He always loves tempeh, and so we decided to get him that. He ate it so fast, you guys. He enjoyed the tempeh. I enjoyed the food. And it was so affordable for the quality that you're getting and the amount of food, the quantity, the quality for the price, just simply unmatched. I was really blown away by that. So when it comes to pricing in Vietnam and the food quality, simply amazing. We even found this like indoor play place for children. We took baby boy to. It was at one of the Vincom malls, plazas, and it was literally like $4. Yeah, it was like 100,000 Vietnamese dongs. So $4 for an entire day, all day. That type of place in Bangkok, and that place was really big too. They had co-working spots as well for the parents. You can co-work inside while your children played, went down the slides, did all type of things. And it was only $4 for an entire day, you guys. That same type of place in like a Bangkok would be at least $15 for the day, and it would be smaller, and you probably wouldn't have that much co-working space. So again, comparison is a thief of all joy, but I just can't help with comparing. And so when it comes to doing things with family, activities for children, oh, we also found this outdoor spot, like outdoor night market. Across the street from that outdoor night market was a, it was like a mini children amusement park where they had rides for children that lit up and different things like that. And each ride was only like 25K VNDs, which is about $1, a little bit less than $1 when we did the conversion. So your child can go on a ride. To enter is free. So to enter this outdoor night park, right? So it's nice and cool. It's free, and then to get on a ride is like $1, you guys. So your family you can truly enjoy Vietnam as a family, as a solo person, whichever, at an affordable cost. And so we love that. I was not expecting that it was going to be that children friendly. And most people, they see children and they're just like, hi, trying to say hi to baby boy, kind of like what they do in Thailand. So that was kind of cool. So I went over the pricing, right? I went over the food quality, it being children friendly. And I did not realize that that many people spoke English fluently, because we went to a lot of local spots. So I was pleasantly surprised by that, which was kind of cool. Again, I would be okay if they did not speak English. There's Google Translate. I do that a lot here sometimes in Thailand. If I'm at more local spots where people don't really speak English, it's fine. I know a bit of Thai now, so I can go by. But yeah, I was not really expecting that many people in like the local communities would understand English. So that was quite interesting. Um, and another thing was, I didn't think that people would care so much for children, but people were genuinely kind. The locals were really kind when it came to children. Also, you guys, there is an expat community, a Black expat community there in Vietnam. I did not realize that there was such a big community in Vietnam. So there is a group for families within that same community. It's kind of like branched off. So there's a group for families if you have family. There's a group for like veterans if you're a veteran, a group for just women or men, a fellowship group, like a Bible study group. I actually went to one of the Bible studies, which was kind of cool. They typically do it like on the beach, just on the beach. I mean, Bible study on the beach. How cool is that? you know? And so that kind of vibe, like I said before, just reminds me of like a Bali vibe. And in Vietnam, it just felt like it was so easy to connect with people, to connect with other people who looked like you, and just to connect with people in general. I think because of the culture, it's more of a chill, laid back lifestyle type of place versus like a Bangkok, Thailand. So I noticed that in Bangkok, Thailand, again, I'm comparing, yes. Bangkok is more corporate. People go to work, people teach, English. So a lot of people don't really have the time to just like get together during the day and different things like that. But in like a Vietnam, Da Nang especially, people are hanging out by the beach. They're doing calisthenics. They're just chilling. I remember when we were on the boardwalk section of the beach, just hanging out with baby boy, I saw this gorgeous lady passing by with, oh my gosh, just bright gray hair and these fancy looking glasses. And she looked really fit too. She was getting her walk in and she was walking past me. And I kind of saw her smiling, like she was smiling at my family. And I said to her, "Oh, I love your hair," but she didn't really hear me. She walked over and we started chatting. And I think she was saying she's Jamaican as well. Her daughter is here. We, started a conversation. She was saying she was visiting her daughter, but because of the things happening in the Middle East now, she was going to go to Egypt, but now she has to go to Europe. And so we just had a great conversation. She told me about some really cool plant-based restaurants because she was saying that she's vegetarian or vegetarian. And we just had a great conversation. And I'm just like, I love this about this place, how easy it is to just have a conversation with people. She was just walking by and we had the time to just have a conversation. I feel like in a place like Bangkok, you don't just like walk past somebody in the street and just like, I don't know. That's my experience personally in Bangkok. Maybe I don't go out that much. Okay. Maybe that's what it is also. But I think with that slower pace of life, Vietnam just has, especially Da Nang, just has this vibrancy. Some people may say, yes, it's getting a little bit touristy. However, I did not feel uncomfortable like I have in other really touristy parts of Asia. It seems like a lot of the people who look like tourists are more settled there, or they call it home. They're more like free spirited. Most people mind their businesses. It seems that way. Some people find themselves going a little bit further outside of Da Nang, and we've considered that too. We did go to Hua An, which hubby says it reminded him of Bali, Indonesia, and it really did. I literally felt like I was in Bali, Indonesia. If you had just dropped me there and said, close your eyes, open your eyes, I would think, oh, I'm in Bali. And then they had rice fields, these beautiful rice fields as well, just like in Bali, Indonesia. There were restaurants like right on the beach. A really nice town. I got myself some cute glasses. I met up with a couple of friends as well. This is the thing I love about global living, international living. I find myself just randomly meeting up with people that I know in different countries. So these ladies, I actually met them no, I did not meet them in Bali, Indonesia, but I met up with one of them for the first time in person. We've been communicating prior to uh, Bali, right? Prior to meeting in Bali. And so we met up in Bali, Indonesia for the first time last May. And I met a couple of other ladies that are friends with her as well. And we're now friends, we're now connected. And those ladies have come to Bangkok after that, and we've connected and met up in Bangkok and done things together in Bangkok. And then they're now in Vietnam. And then I ended up being in Vietnam and we're able to hang out as well, and it's just so cool. I love that about international living. Sometimes you may think that when you go abroad, it means that you will no longer have no connections, and it doesn't mean that. Yes, moving abroad means that you will be away from your familiar life and the people that you probably are or were familiar with, your family, some friends. But it also means that you get the opportunity to meet some other incredible people, meet new people, and connect with people connect with people in different spaces in different parts of the world. It also means that too. And this is what I love about international living. I feel like if I was in the US, I wouldn't have decided to gone to Vietnam and then Bali and Bangkok probably not with these ladies, right? You just have busy lives and, but I love how organic these relationships have been and these travel experiences have been for me just by living abroad. So I really appreciated that. And I went with them to this night boat ride in Hua An, the old town, right? Old town Hua An, which is also incredible. The boats with the lights, and we're able to put like lanterns in the river. And it was just such a beautiful experience. Beautiful, beautiful experience, you guys. I really, really enjoyed Vietnam, and I won't be surprised if, or you don't be surprised if I decide to call Vietnam my home for a while. The only caveat with Vietnam is that it does not really have a long-term visa option for like digital nomads. They have this, I think they have, or they're currently working on some type of investor type of long-term visa. But as it relates to just a regular long-term like nomad visa where, you can prove that you earn income, you prove that you have a certain money in your bank account, that type of thing. They don't have that right now. There's no straightforward way. So for Vietnam, pretty much they allow you to go back and forth every 3 months. It's not frowned upon by immigration. It's not frowned upon by the government, by the country, because they know how it is. They don't really have a straightforward way. So people have been doing this for years upon years, 5 years at a time, 10 years at a time, living in Vietnam, leaving every 3 months. They do have different programs where you can just jump on a bus and the same day you get back. However, we're traveling as a family. We have a toddler now and we have a baby on the way. I don't know if that is practical for us to do every 6 months. I mean, every 3 months. Maybe if it was just once a year, you know, maybe. But that's the only thing that is keeping me from saying, okay, for sure, in the next 2 months, let's do this. But we will see. I won't make any promises on here. You'll just know the next move that I make after we've made the move. But those are some of the things that we've been thinking about and strategizing and trying to figure out, what makes sense and what doesn't. But in general, Vietnam is definitely a place that I see myself going back to at least once a year. That's how much I really enjoyed Vietnam. So yeah, if you've been thinking about visiting Vietnam, I say go ahead, visit, especially if you're already within Asia. Even if you're not in Asia, you're in America right now, you're thinking about moving abroad, and you're trying to scout out places, scout out countries, definitely make Vietnam one of your stops. Thailand, absolutely, for sure. I love Thailand. I love like I said, the forward thinking of Thailand, the kindness of the people, the variety of the food, the cultural diversity of the food. There are a lot of things that I love about Thailand. And there are a lot of things that I love about other parts of Asia. So if you are someone who are thinking abroad, definitely go and see for yourself. I know this video is getting a bit longer than I expected, but I just did a video about how the US does such a good job of spreading propaganda and they're really good at marketing. So when they market, they make it seem like they have the best infrastructure. They have the best systems, healthcare systems. They have the best support for families, healthcare system, all these things. And these different countries, whether it's in Asia, in the Caribbean, different countries in Africa, especially African countries, they make it seem like they have the worst of the worst. But this is why you have to like go and see for yourself and not just let the media be your only influence, because the man who controls the media controls the narrative, and you want to go see for yourself because Asia is the future, right? The continent of Asia in general is the future. The continent of Africa in general. If you look at Kenya and Nairobi, there are a lot of businesses that are popping up, corporations that are going there because they understand. They understand, geopolitics. They understand the economy. They understand where the world is moving, how the world is moving. And Africa in general has so many resources that, of course, the Western world, Western media doesn't really want us to know about. So that's why it's so important to go and see for yourself. I remember when I first went to West Africa, I haven't been to a lot of countries, but I have been around the globe across 5 different continents. Yeah, dozens of countries at this point, right? And once you have once you have left the US and you have experienced life outside of the US, it is so hard to unsee. You cannot unsee it, and you will realize very quickly that you've been scammed or that you are being scammed and that you've been lied to. You will realize that very quickly, okay? I remember when I went to West Africa, I was like, OMG, I was in Accra, Ghana. I was like, this is Africa? This is Ghana? Like, this is Ghana. OMG. I remember staying at this really nice, I don't remember the name of the hotel, it was Golden something. You guys, there's no hotel in the US. There's no hotel in the US that is like this. I've been to dozens of hotels across the US, especially as somebody who was a flight attendant. I did a lot of layovers at hotels, right? And some of these hotels are really nice, but there's no hotel in the US that was like this. And just grand, like the doors, the infrastructure, the meals. Breakfast was like all inclusive. You can get whatever for breakfast. I'm not talking about the US continental, what they call it, continental, whatever breakfast, where you get some croissants and some orange juice and a piece of toast or whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about freshly cut coconut milk. I'm talking about if you want goat, mutton, fish, freshly pressed juice right in front of you, whatever you want. I could not believe it. You guys, I was mind blown by the options for breakfast. I was like, this is breakfast? I just say that to say, go and see for yourself, right? Of course, if it's somewhere that's obviously like a war zone, you don't want to go there. But if you are curious, if you are someone who is actually curious, don't let the media be your only influence, even whether it's negative or positive, right? Because on social media, influencers, content creators can share all the good stuff, but you may have a different experience when you go there. So I'm sharing my experience now, but my experience may not be your experience. You may not like Vietnam. You may not like a Thailand. You may not like Bali, Indonesia. But I just think it's just so important to just go and see for yourself, right? Go and see for yourself. Go and see how much healthcare costs in other countries. Like, just go into a hospital and ask, how much would it cost to do this? How much would it cost to draw my blood, to do this, to do that? Go and see for yourself. There are so many people, so many Americans, right? Thousands of Americans every single year who go to different countries to get procedures done. So many Americans go to Mexico to get basic dental work done because it's cheaper. Can you imagine it being cheaper to fly to another country to get healthcare, to get certain procedures done and fly back to your country and it still be cheaper? Can you imagine that? Like, the US is such a capitalistic economy. I understand the US, being a money making industry and stuff, but I don't think healthcare should be that. I think everybody should have access to basic healthcare. So anyway, that's for another video. I'll get off my soapbox for that. But y'all, Vietnam blew my mind. I will definitely be back. I am in love. We already started looking at townhomes, and the prices are phenomenal for these brand newly built and renovated townhomes. Kind of like what we live in now, 3 stories. I kind of want to get away from the 3-story homes. We live in a 3-story Thai home now, And especially with being pregnant now, y'all, I'm out of breath some days. Like, oh my gosh. Um, but these homes look so beautiful in Vietnam, and you would be amazed of what it costs monthly to live in these newly built and renovated homes with brand new furniture and decor and all the things, and being not too far from the beach. It's amazing. Once you leave the US, your life will never be the same. It will never be the same. It will never be the same. Anyway, that is my experience with being in Vietnam, finding community, being exposed to community, not realizing how many people and families that look like me, okay, that call Vietnam home. Not realizing how family friendly it was, not realizing that the food is actually good. The quality, the quantity, and OMG, the pricing. Not realizing there are so many things to do. So, yeah, I had to jump on here to share my full experience with you guys of Vietnam, whether I see myself going back or not. It's a hard yes for me. And so to end this video, I just want to encourage you to do it afraid. I see a lot of comments of people talking about how they wish they could leave the US, but they don't have the money. They wish they could leave the US, but this and but that. I'm here to tell you that you can literally do anything that you really want to do. If you really want to leave the US, you will make it happen. I'm not saying to leave the US with absolutely no savings. But what I will say is that there are people who have done it. They have figured out how they're going to make it work. They have navigated it. And sometimes in life, it takes risk. But I'm not saying to do that, right? Figure out a way that you can save some money real quick. Sell your stuff, right? All that junk that you have, sell it. You'd be surprised how much money you can get back, you know? Really sit down and analyze your finances and see where you can pull money from. Really do the calculation of how much it actually costs you right now to live in the US. If you're someone who is saying, I don't have savings, or I don't have this, I don't have the resources, just really calculate right now how much you're spending for your car, how much you're paying for it, I should say, whether your car payment, your car insurance, your rent, your mortgage, whatever that is. I did another video the other day talking about giving you actually like practical steps, step by steps of how you can actually leave the US, how we did it in like 60 days. Definitely go check out that video somewhere here. But really do the math and see where you'd be surprised where you could pull that money from. And don't sleep on skill stacking. Stack your skills, create remote income. There's so many options, especially today, out there for you. So that is my encouragement to you. I I'm not sure when as yet, but I do plan on doing an escape plan workshop, right? A move abroad workshop soon. I've been doing a lot of these videos, but I want to do an actual workshop where a, I get a group of people together virtually who are serious about moving abroad. And we have like a 2-day intensive or like a 3-hour intensive. If you're interested in something like that, then you can just join my free newsletter. Just sign up there. I'll link it below, and you can be a part of that newsletter so that you will be one of the first people to know when I'm actually going to be doing that workshop. I'm still praying on it, planning it out, and I want to do it at the right time for the right type of people. If I resonate with you, with being a mom, an entrepreneur, living abroad as a family and traveling and still creating income, if that resonates with you, then you may want to sign up for the Move Abroad workshop waitlist. Okay, I'll be sure to link it below. But anyway, you guys, if you did enjoy this episode, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to this channel. I'm trying to get this channel up to, I want to say 500 subscribers, but we're going to surpass that and say 1,000. I want to get to that 1,000 subscribers by September of this year. Okay, by my birthday this year, by September, we want to get to 1,000 subscribers. Okay, So if you watch this content, if you like it, subscribe to the channel, like it, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts, and share this video with someone who may benefit. Again, 𝗔𝗍𝘂𝘁𝘂𝘁. It was an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Be blessed. Bye.